I'm starting to realize how conditioned we are into believing how limited we are. And as you start peeling those layers away and you break through those beliefs, those self-limiting thoughts and emotions, on the other side of that is where the miraculous happens. I think this is a time in history where it's not enough to know. And because of technology, we have access to so much content. And information creates awareness. And awareness is consciousness. And in an age of information, ignorance is a choice. There's an energetic change, I think, that's taking place in the world right now where people are so informed that old models, old paradigms are beginning to break down, whether it's the medical model, the religious model, the education model, journalism, the economy, politics. It's all beginning to come to the surface because something else has to come out. And 10 years ago, information was the thing that stimulated thought, stimulated new ideas. And as we learn new things, we make new connections in our brains. So as we begin to add new stitches into that three-dimensional tapestry in our mind, we're beginning to cause our mind to function in new ways. But the key then is to apply it. You just got to understand the formula. And just like any skill or anything you learn, you got to go from thinking to doing to being. You got to take knowledge, you create the experience, and if you keep doing it over and over again, you start getting a skill or you start getting wise about how to do it. And you know that you know how to do it. In the last 10 years, we have assembled a scientific team. And let's see if you can really make significant brain changes. I don't want those changes to just be in your mind. I want them to be in your brain. And I want to be able to see before and after pictures to say, that person has a significant change after a traumatic brain injury or anxiety or depression or a cyclic mood disorder or a stroke. We want to see that there's been significant change. At the same time, let's measure your brain in real time and let's look to see what that transformation process looks like. We gained so much knowledge about what that transformational process looks like. In other words, I can tell you without a doubt that if you're analyzing your life right now within some disturbing emotion, that 100% of the time you're going to make your brain worse. If you're stuck in an emotion and you're thinking within that emotional state, in other words, you can't think greater than how you feel, that means then you were thinking in the past because those emotions are a residue of the past. So we see people in the process of change that are analyzing in duality or polarity. That kind of drives the brain into higher states of arousal and further away from true change. So we've done thousands and thousands and thousands of brain scans and we now know that there's a formula to create greater brain coherence, greater brain efficiency, to make your brain work. It requires a clear intention and an elevated emotion to begin to change your energy and to change your life. And nobody changes until they change their energy, right? So then how do you get a person out of resentment and frustration into joy and freedom why would they feel grateful or joyful or free if the experience hasn't happened? So most people are spending the majority of their life waiting for something out there to take away their emptiness or pain or the resentment in here. Well, if they're waiting their whole life in separation or lack, then and we create reality, then the lack is driving certain thoughts, which is creating more separation and more lack. So teaching people then to begin to condition their body emotionally before the evidence takes place in their life is breaking a significant habit. So instead of living by cause and effect, now we're beginning to cause and effect. So the moment you start feeling whole and grateful, we now know your healing will begin at that moment. The moment you start feeling worthy and abundant, your wealth is coming. You're generating a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of wealth. And so let's stop telling the story of your past and let's start telling the story of your future. And people who aren't defined by a vision of the future, for the most part, are left with memories of the past. And your brain is a record of the past. It's an artifact of everything you've learned and experienced at this moment.
자신의 한계를 정의하고 있다는 사실을 깨달은 적이 있습니까? 조 디스펜자는 말합니다. 자신이 규정 지어놓은 한계의 층을 벗겨내고 반대편에 있는 기적의 느낌을 일깨워라. 넘쳐나는 정보로 성공하기 쉽고 배우기도 쉬운 시대입니다. 정보를 샅샅이 훑어보기도 힘든 시대이고 선택을 하기는 더욱 어렵습니다. 신기술의 등장으로 인간은 끊임없이 자신의 능력을 연마해야 하는 선택의 시대. 내 삶에 불안한 마음으로 내 삶을 재정비하고 싶을 때가 온다면 우리는 이미 과거에 살고 있다는 것을 조디스펜자 박사가 방향을 제시합니다. 내 삶을 바꾸고 싶다면, 분명한 목적과 긍정적인 열정을 유지한다면 우리의 정신은 집중을 하고 우리의 뇌는 우리가 원하는 것을 끌어당길 것입니다. 지금 당신의 고통에서 벗어나게 해줄 무엇인가를 기다리는 것보다는 감사함과 온전함을 느끼기 위해 노력을 하고 올바른 습관을 만들 사람은, 그리고 나 자신을 해방시킬 사람은 바로 나 자신입니다. 조 디스펜자는 충고합니다. 시각화나 명상을 해도 효과가 없다면 조급해하지 말고, 실망하지 말고, 분석하려 들지 말고 미래의 꿈을 현실화시키면서 끊임없이 당신의 꿈과 에너지를 연결시키라고 말합니다. 끊임없이 자신의 현실 속에 대입시키며 미래의 결과를 상상을 해서 어느 순간 과거의 나와 내 미래의 꿈이 현재인 것, 이 두 가지의 분리감을 경험하는 것, 미래의 감정과 생각을 유지하면서 그 느낌마저도 현재의 나와 연결이 되는 것, 그것이 바로 진정한 시각화입니다. 또한 그는 시각화도 연습과 노력이라고 말합니다. 골프를 치듯이, 테니스를 치듯이 의식을 집중해서 습득하는 방법을 깨닫는 것, 시각화도 반복적으로 올바르게 연습해서 습득해 나아가는 것입니다. 과거로 되돌아가려는 그 순간의 감정을, 그 습관을 알아차려서 나 자신을 승리로 이끌어갈 수 있습니다. 이것은 부자가 되기 위한 허무맹랑한 자기 최면이 아닙니다. 타인과의 관계, 부, 건강 등을 향한 목적이 아니라 과거를 극복해서 나 자신이 누구인지를 찾아가는 과정입니다. 실패감과 좌절감이 극복을 가로막을 때도 분명히 있지만 포기하여 과거의 생각으로 돌아가지 마세요. 자신을 향한 믿음의 끝까지 가보는 겁니다. 벅찬 행복과 자유를 경험하는 순간이 분명히 옵니다. 어쩌면 우리는 이미 늦었다고 말하는 30즈음에, 이미 늦었다고 말하는 40즈음에, 이미 늦었다고 말하는 50즈음에, 이미 늦었다고 말하는 60즈음에, 이미 늦었다고 말하는 70즈음에 이러한 나 자신을 찾아가는 기적의 순간을 맞이할 수 있을 겁니다. 그것이 우리에게는 부, 건강, 인연, 자아 실현으로 찾아오는 순간이 될지도 모르겠습니다.